When it comes to modern video gaming, the sooner that you realize that it's way bigger than just the pixels you see dancing on the screen, kicking your ass in ranked lobbies, the sooner every weird, expensive, and downright insane decisions you see being made will start to make a little more sense. The gaming industry is undoubtedly in its prime right now as far as the financials go, and you know, naturally, it's been attracting every other medium to pour insane amounts of money into it, like some kids sneaking unlimited re-ups on Robux from mom's credit card. Gaming's popularity rising in the time between the late 90s and mid 2000s have led to the age now where everyone is trying to hit the glass pipe filled with anything to do with the biggest video game IPs. And you know, it's not always the worst thing. We definitely got some classics that spawn out of this trend, like, you know, the Last of Us TV adaptation. All those cancerous, unskippable advertisements at least put gaming into more eyes, giving us more opportunities. And you know, who wouldn't want to pay a 20 ball to play every new live action as a rapper? Who wouldn't? It's all cool in its own right, but you know, like I mentioned earlier, you gotta understand that these big names aren't always in it for just the love of making video games themselves, and more to build a private collection display of Benjamin Franklin's. So it does suck to see these industry names pick up the ball with gaming and just chuck it into the void when they don't feel like playing with it anymore. Similar to how the conglomerate entertaining company of Warner Bros. Is doing with a good number of Steam games right now that have built a die-hard fan base, and also as titles that are under one of WB's dopest IPs, known as Adult Swim. Now, to anyone a little on the younger spectrum, the name Adult Swim might not ring that much more to you than just the channel that plays Rick and Morty all night after the endless Teen Titans Go reruns, or whatever the fuck they got going on now. But in its prime, Adult Swim was one of the best late night TV places to be when people could actually afford cable, and similarly, it was able to transcend its brand into other mediums, most notably being in the gaming world. The company was able to dip their toes as a publisher in some of the most entertaining games on digital store platforms like Steam that might not have seen the most, you know, mainstream success, but having a hidden gem like Kingsway in your belt is, I think, more of an achievement than, well, revolutionizing game monetization. And these Adult Swim titles have been around for more than a decade now, so you wouldn't expect them to be touched in any significant way, but of course, going back to the main point, the big picture, I just hit my hand, that hurt. So the developers of these games were taken by surprise when they received out of nowhere emails from their previous parent company Warner Bros. Themselves claiming that their games were about to be delisted from Steam and other digital storefronts in the coming weeks. Now, apparently, Warner Bros. Is just really finicky these days in what media they choose to put out or keep public within their catalog. You know, they've been turning shit down left and right from the biggest names, constantly removing stuff from their Mac subscription service, making piracy sound like a wet dream for more people. So as of this recording, they haven't given the public or, you know, even these creators an explicit reason for removing these Adult Swim games other than yapping about the financial damage. But you can pretty much guess from their current actions that they just do things without consulting anybody, pretty aligned with the nature of a big industry name. But even still, that just doesn't change how messed up this is for most of the title creators, because you have a case like developer Michael Molinari, who claims he received emails from WB saying that his game Sound Dodger Plus is getting delisted in the next 60 days, and after he wrote an email back asking Warner Bros. To, you know, transfer ownership of the game so that didn't have to happen, he was rejected of this process. A process that he literally stressed took no more than a few clicks, and the dude's not lying. Based on these guidelines from Steam themselves, even a one-cell organism like myself wouldn't have trouble transferring ownership of a game. But Warner Bros. Claimed that since they couldn't give back all the other games under Adult Swim for their own reasons, they couldn't just give this guy his one back, which I guess, man. And the thing is, even if these creators choose to republish these games on Steam or, you know, whatever platform, they luckily do have the option, but because of how all that legal stuff works out that nobody ever likes to read, they have to remove any mention of Adult Swim or Warner Bros. In all of these games, which is fair itself, but republishing these titles wouldn't be so detrimental if these games weren't, like, you know, a console generation old, and wouldn't lose all the reviews and comments for new players to see before purchasing, which is really unfortunate to see for the future of, you know, most of these games if they continue to exist. And that's only the peak of the thunderstorm for the developers who are still active and, don't mind releasing these titles. On the other hand, some of these games themselves might not have functioning studios anymore, so the games just might get lost to time itself. Hopefully that isn't the case for those games, but even if it is, we're also in the age of digital preservation. People are keeping everything, even copies of the day before after it got delisted on Steam, because I guess people didn't have enough smart on their hard drives. Either way, this is still another sad gaming industry letdown that we'll likely be telling our grandkids about in the future, but of course, we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds for Adult Swim games on the platform. So what do you guys think about this news about these Adult Swim games being removed, man? Feel free to comment down below. If you like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you on the next one. Led to the age now where everyone is trying to hit their pipe. Damn!